Good afternoon. Nice to see you again. They're about to start this press release for the Menendez brothers. Um, I'm, I'm personally hoping that it's going to be time served. I think it should be time served. Sounds like the present district attorney, state's attorney, whomever, has said that he doesn't believe the Menendez brothers are a risk to the public. So I don't know. Dizzy, do you know how to start a poll? Let's start a poll, see what people like. Actually, there was a poll started on my X post, and that was by, um, I can find it here. You guys hear me? Sound is a bit wonky, kind of muffled. All right, hold on. Let me try to fix it. My sister just texted me. I'm watching you, and the sound is really weird. All right, let me try something. Hmm. All right, any better? You guys said better, but I'm not talking. Sounds good? All right. Can I hear myself in my headphones? What's going on here? All right. So, um, all right. My sister's texting me too. All right. So I was trying to find that poll. I wanted to find that poll. Nikki, I think it was who put it up. Let's see. Um, yeah, Nick on X. Nick Jacks 222. She put up a poll. 71 votes, about 10% of the people who viewed it, but 76% said time served, 10% no change, 14% reduced sentence. I don't know if that's predictions or what they want to see. What I'd like to do, Dizzy, do you know how to do it? Is a poll of what people want to see. Um, Time served or, no change. Or time served or stay in prison, something like that. Alright, I think it might be starting. Let's check it out. So I wanted to have the thing turned back on. Testing. Yep, time served. Me too. Alright, guys. Whoops. Whoops. I don't know what I did. Yeah, 35 years is a long time. I was just talking to my sister about it, and she said, sh "Oh, the resentencing for the Menendez brothers, I just watched the Netflix series." So I was like, "Wait a minute, did you watch The Monsters? Did you watch the Menendez brothers story?" So she watched Monsters, so of course, didn't know why I thought that they should get time served, but she's watching now. Um, she also didn't remember anything from back when this originally happened.
At
Other
this hour, any minute now, LA County
Oh,
District Attorney George Gascón is
Jesus. Alright, I'm turning the boost off. I think I boosted it anticipating turn off. Alright, let me try this again.
out these killings, but they said they were repeatedly sexually assaulted by their father and fear their lives. You're taking a live look right now at will be held. We understand the family members of
So how's
Erik
that
and Lyle
sound for you
Menendez are
guys?
in the front row there, as well as their legal representation led by Mark Garagos, a famed attorney here in Los Angeles, who has been indicating that these boys or these now men should
Alright.
be released. Now, the new evidence that has been introduced could prove the
I don't know if
indication
I
that
should be
in
using a
fact the
different
two
stream, but
boys or the two men now were in fact abused at the time. The case, of course, has been the subject of renewed public interest since the release of the recent Netflix documentary. Now, the new evidence includes a letter Erik Menendez wrote to his cousin indicating the abuse by his father. Also, recent news from a year ago that Ray Rossello, a member of the band Menudo, was also allegedly molested by the father as well. Again, this has taken renewed interest. And keep in mind the backdrop of all this. We are less than 2 weeks away from an
sec oh,
election where LA District
close to
Attorney
it now.
George Gascon is on the ballot seeking re-election here, facing a strong candidate
Technically,
as well.
I
So
think so.
we'll see what he has to say as we
Yes,
hear
sure,
from this
is my answer,
announcement. But you just saw Mark
actually.
Garagos right there in the newsroom or the room where this news conference will be taking place. Of course, packed with reporters there waiting for this announcement. And we have been expecting this all week
Guys, let me know
long
if I
with
should use a different
indications
stream,
from the
Dizzy
LA
and Mandy,
District
if
Attorney's Office that
this is good.
a decision would be made this week and, in fact, today. So here we go. We are expecting this announcement to be made
Oh,
shortly. Again, we are learning that LA
good.
District Attorney George Gascon is expected to ask for resentencing for Erik and
Alright, I'm gonna use this stream. Whoops, it's coming at you, hold on. I hate that. Okay, perfect, because there's no talking until whoops, until they actually start talking. Alright, this seems a little behind time. I saw that wave over a while ago on the other screen. I guess he could be waving somebody else over. Why is it still doing that? I made it widescreen. Alright, let's go. So did we decide we don't know how to make a poll, or did we make a poll? Hoping for justice to be granted. Well, if they gave them I think right now someone correct me, do they have life without the possibility of parole? Because I had a client who oh, there is a poll. Poll is up. Why don't I know how to see these things? Oh, Dizzy put it right there. I made a poll. Um, and he was originally sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, and when his sentence got changed, it got changed to the life with the possibility of parole, and then on his first, then he gets in front of okay, so it is possible, Hoosier Girl says it is right now life without the possibility. That's also something that they could change the sentence to, life with the possibility of parole. Then they go in front of the parole board, and then basically they're gonna get paroled. Um, it's kinda when they do that, that's sort of the expectation. Now, let's say and it sounds like these guys have been very good in jail, but my client had, like, some weird infraction while he was in prison, so they paroled him on the underlying murder charge, but then kept him for or was going to keep him for another couple of years, but his lawyers fought it and won, and he ended up getting out pretty quickly. And that is Muti Ajamo Asabaro from Philadelphia. I think he's out there on social media somewhere. Uh, my sister's still watching. She'll remember our first case. We always used to we were pushing free Muti. Sometimes I had my family members ask me, "Whatever happened to that free Muti?" He is out. He is out. And hopefully, so will the Menendez brother. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. You didn't miss nothing, Missy. They're just, s walking around. That's not the same picture that we were looking at. Wasn't that other woman showing looked more like the inside of a courtroom? Maybe it was footage that they were using while she was talking. This is definitely it, though. The lawyer, is talking to the mom's sister. Um That's who he's talking with right now, and the mom's sister is sitting next to her daughter, I believe. It's hard to tell from the back, but that's what I believe, and she's obviously the cousin of the brothers, and I think they were very close in age, um, and she spent a lot of time with them, and, she's one of those people who says things were off. Wait a second, I had someone said I lived in Philly for that. Defense attorney me how I lived in Philly during that. Wow, crazy. Yep, we represented Muti on his post-conviction petition, our very first case, at a law school, and we were so excited because it was, like, what we went to law school for, like, so Muti's son had been going around just to random law firms trying to find anyone who would help him, um, and we got him back his original appeal rights, and it was a long uphill battle for him. At the end of the day, he got out more on the change of he was 17 at the time, and they changed the law about its violation of the Eighth Amendment to sentence a child or a juvenile to life without the possibility of parole, and that ended up being what ultimately led to him getting out. He fought for his freedom and asserted his innocence all those years. So that's super soft. Can you guys hear that at all? Happy birthday, wild child. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Can't hear. All right, I'm gonna put back on the boost, which blew my eardrums out earlier, but you guys hear that? It got louder for me. I know she's not in the mic yet, so maybe it's gonna end up being super loud, but if it is, I'll quickly shut down all right, you're all telling me. It's true, Mandy. They needed a conviction after OJ. They needed a conviction after OJ. Alright, I'm gonna turn off the boost just for now. and see how it sounds when they're actually talking in the mic. Um, she just said I think she said, "We're not taking any questions." Um, something along those lines. Wasn't nothing substantive. Thanks, Milo. Thanks, Milo's mom. Diz or Mand, what do we have so far on this poll? Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, at the last press conference that we watched together, the entire Menendez families, the paternal and maternal side of the brothers' family, all stood up and spoke out that they think, that uh, the boys would never have been convicted, not at least of first degree, if the facts had come out. Um, if their trial was now instead of back then, 90%. All right. That's that's a lot. But we'd love to hear from people who thinks that they should stay locked up, who doesn't buy it. But yeah, the family's all standing behind the boys, and um they spoke out about things that they saw in the house and things they should have spoken up about before and things that they didn't put together until later. And that's going to go a long way, along with the added community pressure, obviously, which is why on that uh, stream we were listening to before, the reporter was pointing out that it's an election season. So, but yeah, I mean, the only story ever told. I mean, obviously there was that first trial, but as far as what the media reported, it was always just they killed their parents for greed and money. I think that Jane is right that that there's another news stream that's more ahead. Um, because of that wave that I saw, I thought maybe this AP stream was a little behind. Man, we don't want spoilers. I wonder if I should go back to that other stream. Let me see where it's no, no, I'm not. It's not up. What I'm seeing is that same news reporter, with a little camera showing what's going on in the oh, wait, maybe it's about to start. Let's see. No, I'm gonna watch both. I'm gonna watch this other stream just in case, but it looks like, um, nothing's happening over there yet either, so should be good. Oops. But I wonder if the stream is a little behind, because I saw on the other one, the lawyer stand up and walk over. Yeah, nothing's happening yet on any stream. I won't I'll make sure that we're if you guys are seeing something else where it looks like they're already talking, let us know, because I don't wanna miss anything. But on the other stream I have, it looks like oh, she is? Probably could have done it together. That's I was looking at Asher's comment about Melanie. Fox now has a better view. I think that once we it starts, they're all gonna, have the same view. But right now I still have that Fox 11 window open, and it's the lawyer talking to the great aunt. So, or no, just the aunt. Um, it's the same thing. So Josephine Trott gives us some little insight on some other countries. Vilification of defendants in the media pretrial isn't allowed in the UK. In Australia, they won't publicize trial dates, so jurors have no clue what trial they might be called for. Yeah, we kind of saw that. They almost go to extremes, or at least, it was easy to feel that way with the recent case of the wife whose husband raped her, or I should have said R word. Sorry. Hopefully we don't get dinged by YouTube, and had 50 plus other men do it as well. And they had to fight just to let all the evidence be seen at trial so that the public could see. But that was actually under the guise of protecting the victim, although there was that whole other angle where they didn't want to release the men's names uh, too. So what? Yeah, it was both of them. Gisela or Gisela. I forget how to pronounce it. Yep. I know you guys got me, and then Bob's gonna give you the full rundown of Delphi. Yep. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. And we got people wanting him to go home. Gisela. Gisela. Somebody tell me what's going on with YSL. I haven't had a chance to stay up on it. It's just like I was thought the whole case was going to get thrown out with all the mishegas that the prosecutor was pulling. It's like such bullshit. Bob could hop on for this for all I know. But I think they're still in court. Did Bob have the zoomies? We're hoping they're resentencing. We're waiting to find out. We're waiting to find out. They actually, Shannon did have one dissenting family member, because I do remember in the last press conference, the attorney saying somebody wasn't there. And just for us to think about in our own families, what the likelihood that we could get 100% agreement from everybody. So there was a dissenting family member. But I think it like you said, it's the majority of the family wishes them to be free. We could watch 12. I mean, 12's given a little bit of background. Um, some pictures of the kids growing up. Um, and I'm sure it's very helpful that they've been model prisoners in from what I understand from the last press release, there were many of the prison guards and people at the prison who wrote character letters on their behalf, saying that they don't think they'll be a danger to the community, and that they'll be um, good members of the community, productive members of society. Trying to read some of your comments. We're all talking about all different trials, and I don't know, maybe if all the family are there this time, because I think some people had to come from other states for sure, but even I thought some from other countries. All right, maybe something's about to happen. Bob just got out. They just got out early. Wonder if he can hop on while he can give us some quick insights while we wait for them to start. Let's see if I can get him to come. He probably wants to get his tweets out. He's definitely not gonna be ready to shift gears, that's for sure. Alright, he's calling me. I'll let you know what he says. Hold on, hold on. Hey, babe. Hi. Well, we're Jerry Holman in the afternoon. Liggett testified? Alright, so he would give me nothing. I'm like, "Wait, you've gotta give me something to go back to the people with." I'm like, "Give me some sort of tidbit." So he just which I unmuted to tell you that Holman testified and, uh, Liggett testified, and all he would tell me was that there was a huge aha moment where the crowd was like, with Liggett, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. He said it's a teaser, and he will see you guys at 5:55 Eastern Time. So, I mean, that gives us 45 minutes for them to get done with this press release. Um, it's not about the fishing license. Um, yeah, a cliffhanger. I was like, "Wait, you've gotta give me something." And he said, "I just did." I was like, "Wait, so you want me to go back and tell the people about an aha moment, and you're not gonna give me anything?" He's like, "Nope, cliffhanger." But he did say set up his live for, uh, 5:45. Hint, hint, Dizzy and Mandy. Keeping you guys really, really busy today. I know, I know. No, that's definitely not an aha moment. Oh, boy. Come on. All right. Off to X we go. All right, come on. It'll get there. Yes, Janet's right. He wants to drop that info for sure. And it'll be better because he can give you the whole he can paint a visual, an oral picture for you. Or who knows? He might have one of his sketches there for you. You never know. You never know what you'll get. Uh, but yeah, 5:45 Eastern time is when it's going to be. 5:45 Eastern time. So 45 minutes from now. So Liggett, that's who was running for sheriff, right, guys? Tony Liggett. Yep. True Crime Junkie says, yep. Oh no, more things are happening. You guys are giving me more work. KT Burr says, OMG, Allie, did you see Stephen Avery's case has been assigned? It's being reviewed as we speak. I did not. Um, Everyone's trying to change subjects. I'm missing out on a crazy, interesting Sarah Boone trial. Is that real? Did something interesting happen? Because I didn't think anything interesting would happen until Sarah Boone took the stand. Um, Vanessa's asking, I've done a couple things with attorney Melanie Little, if that's what you're asking. Um, I can't remember who I subbed through. It was DUI guy or Melanie Little. I've seen this podcast on. Yes, it was definitely Melanie Little. I don't think Bob's ever done anything with DUI guy. Meg, I would assume so. I don't know if they really have parole anymore. Like Illinois doesn't have parole anymore, but there's still basically the same thing where you've got conditions of release. Um, so I guess we'll have to see, but I would suspect at least for a period of time. All right. Oh no. I thought something was happening. Here's a question. Have Lyle and Erik had any contact through their incarceration? Like, are they together? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat knows. Are they in the same place? Are they able to hang out? Sarah's defense team is stellar. I didn't see that. Sarah Boone's defense team? I didn't see that. Stellar. All right. Crankin says they do now, but they have not until it's only been in the last few years. I mean, looks like we're about to get somewhere here, people. Oh, damn it. Panning back to the crowd. All right, everybody's giving us telling us what happens, it sounds like. Janet, I would agree that they have fought hard for her. Yes. And you're right. I mean, I haven't paid attention since the last time I did a live with you guys on it. So, you know, my sister and I, Kraken, were just talking about how we're about the same age. I think, what are they, like 54 and 53 or 55 and 54? My sister and I are 50 and 52. So, thank you, Stephanie, reminding the people that is what we need. 168 to 458. Come on. That's just sad. That's just sad. Milo's mom says both are married. Lyle, I believe, to a lawyer, Erik to a woman who reached out after similar issues happened with her daughter and the stepfather. I know. Come on, can these prosecutor be timely? Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Between that and getting the likes up, we're moving here. We're moving. KT Bird likes the video every time. So every time we call her out. So hopefully that does remind people. I'm not vaping. What are you guys talking about? I've been told I'm not allowed to. I thought I was hiding it behind this microphone. But it's honeydew. Am I not hiding it behind this microphone? How'd you see that? Who's your girl? Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it very much. Oh, man. Bob's in trouble. I'm gonna start a competition with him. For your wisdom and your time. Thanks, Meg P. Between the likes and the super stickers. I've shared this story before, but my mom was sentenced to prison 25 years to life for having drugs on her. She was a user, not like Pablo Escobar. This was Rockefeller Law 90s. I mean, it's Brooklyn. That's such a shame. And I I've seen it. I had a client who like literally was facing life because he had two at federal court because he had two precursors to meth, which is, buying too much of Sudafed, so they, know you're cooking meth somewhere, and then for selling, like, a couple of like, such a small amount. It was a tiny amount because the actual dealers use drug addicts, especially with, like, meth, to to sell their shit. So, like, they're using and, like, just selling so that they can continue to use, and that's all they're doing, but it keeps the real dealers out of the mix. So the people getting busted are the drug addicts. I don't know if what your mother's drug was or if that's had any parts of it. I'm just saying it's when they trap the users, you know, up in the system like that, it's sad. It's really sad. Yep, and it was all thanks to the war on drugs. Yep, Reagan and Mrs. Reagan, thank you very much. All right, is something actually going to happen now or what? All right, yes, no spoilers. Thanks, Minnie. But I'm not vaping. You did not see that.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. And
Let me know if it's loud enough.
begin speaking, I want to also introduce some other people that are here with me, and I hope I'm pronouncing the names.
Should I boost it?
It's the handwritten part of it. But I have Ana Maria Baran, Jose Menendez.
All right,
me,
gotcha.
Jose Menendez and niece Karen Bender Mullen, and Kitty's niece. They're all here with us.
Let me know if it's too loud
Also
now.
with us here is Brock Lunsford. He's the Assistant Head Deputy for the Post-Litigation Conviction Unit. And Nancy
How's it now,
Ferrier,
guys?
who is
Even more.
the Deputy District Attorney in charge of the resentencing unit. Let me begin by telling you that this is a case where we've had many people in this office spend a great deal of time reviewing the case.
All right, hold on, guys.
I can tell you unequivocally that we don't have a universal agreement. And they do not believe that they were molested. And there are people in the office that strongly believe that they should be released immediately and that they were in fact molested. I have to tell you that after a very careful review of all the arguments that were made for people on both sides of this equation, I came to a place where I believe that under the law, resentencing is appropriate.
Yes.
And I am going to recommend that to a court tomorrow. What that means in this particular case is that we're going to recommend to the court that the life without the possibility of parole be removed. Yep. And that they will be sentenced for murder, which, because there are two murders involved, that will be 50 years to life. However, because of their age, under the law, since they were under 26 years of age at the time that these crimes occurred, they will be eligible for parole immediately. The teams that have worked on this, on the resentencing side of it, have spent literally probably hundreds of hours by now looking at this case. These cases were originally presented on the habeas side of it, which I'll explain in a moment what that is, last year, and then the request for a prosecutor-initiated resentencing occurred earlier this year. And there have been people in this office working in these cases from the very beginning, as well as many other cases that we have. The reason why I'm here today and why I came in front of all of you about 10 days ago is because there was a more recent documentary about the case that again brought a tremendous amount of public attention. And we know there have been other documentaries, so this is not the first, this is the more recent one. And frankly, our office got flooded with requests for information. And even though this case was already scheduled to be heard in late November, I decided to move this forward because, quite frankly, we did not have enough resources to handle all the requests. And one of the things that I thrive to do in this office is to be very transparent in everything that we do. In this case, we review the prison files. You have to understand that the way the process works, when you're talking about a sentence and resentencing under the law, it really focuses not necessarily on what the original crimes were, but it focuses on, has the person been rehabilitated, number one, and number two, can they be released safely into the community? Under that rubric, since I've been in office, we have resentenced over 300 people, including 28 for murder. Only 4 have reoffended. If that was a regular recidivism rate in this country, we would be the safest nation in the world, but we know that it's not. In fact, somewhere between 40 and 50% of the people that go to prison reoffend and get rearrested. And that's why we have so many problems. However, when you look at the case of the Menendez brothers, you see two very young people. One was 19 and the other was 21 when they committed this horrible acts. And I want to underline, they were horrible acts. There is no excuse for murder. And I will never imply that what we're doing here is to excuse that behavior. Because even if you get abused, the right path is to call the police, seek help. But I understand also how sometimes people get desperate. We often see women, for instance, that have been battered for years, and sometimes they will murder their abuser out of desperation. And I do believe that the brothers were subjected to a tremendous amount of dysfunction in the home and molestation. But they went to prison for life without the possibility of parole, which meant that certainly under the law at that time, they had no hopes of ever getting out. They could have done what many other people do, which is basically said, you know what, I'm here for the rest of my life, so I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to misbehave, I'm going to join gangs, I'm going to live the life of a person. But they never did that. To the contrary, even though they didn't think that they would ever be let free, they engaged in a different journey. A journey of redemption and a journey of rehabilitation. And often the people that begin their journey of rehabilitation and redemption in prison is often very internal. And what they do, and one of our lawyers pointed out this today, is usually the path is people try to further their education, do things for self-improvement, which the brothers have done, by the way. But it's more unique or less usual, I guess, when people not only do that, but they also begin to engage in ways to make life for others better. And in this case, the brothers have been doing so for a very long time, creating groups to deal with how to address untreated trauma, creating groups to deal with other inmates that have physical disabilities and may be treated differently. Even in one case, Lyle negotiating for other inmates as to the conditions that they live under during prison. And all this was done by two young people, now they're not as young, they had no hopes of ever getting out of prison. They have been in prison for nearly 35 years. I believe that they have paid their debt to society, and the system provides a vehicle for their case to be reviewed by a parole board, and if the parole concurs with my assessment, and it will be their decision, they will be released accordingly. I must underline, however, this case will be filed in court tomorrow.
Oh.
The final decision will be made by the judge. Court has to agree
What we talked about early on.
with my conclusion that they deserve to be resentenced. It is very possible that there may be members of this office that will be present in court opposing the resentencing.
This guy's going up against it.
And they have a right to do so. And we encourage those that disagree with us to speak, and the court is the appropriate place to do it. We certainly feel we're very sure not only that the brothers have rehabilitated and that they will be safe to be reintegrated in our society, but that they have paid their dues, not only for the crimes that they committed, but because of all the other things they have done to improve the life of so many others. So again, we will be filing for resentencing tomorrow. We're seeking that they would be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole, as opposed to life without the possibility of parole, which is they currently have. That means that they would have 50 years to life because there were 2 murders. But because of the age upon which they were convicted, under 26, under current law, that means they're eligible for youthful parole. I think there is also important to have some introspection today, because I think that often, for cultural reasons, we don't believe victims of sexual assault, whether they're women, whether they're men. We saw in our first trial, which, by the way, they were tried twice. The first trial hung, meaning the jury could not come to a conclusion, and in fact, about half of the jury wanted to convict them of manslaughter, which, if that were have been the case, they would have been off prison a long time ago. And then there was a second trial, and then they were convicted of murder with special circumstances, which led to the life without the possibility of parole. But it's salient to understand that our own implicit and sometimes explicit bias around sexual abuse and sexual assaults often leads us to severe injustices in our community. And I want to speak to those that are victims of sexual assault now, whether you're a man or a woman. Know that we're here for you. If you're a victim of sexual assault in this community, and by that we're talking about LA County, not just LA City, you can come for help. Whether you're prepared to prosecute or not, we will be here for you. We have services for you. And if you're prepared to move forward with the prosecution, we will evaluate it as we do any other case. And if we believe that the evidence is there to present a credible case in front of a jury that can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, we would proceed accordingly. You do not have to suffer alone. You don't have to keep it to yourself. And help is here unconditionally. I'm going to say a few words in Spanish because I know there's tremendous amount of interest from the Spanish media, and I know that there are going to be other speakers today, and then we're going to open it up for questions. Primero que nada, quiero dar las gracias a todos por estar aquí hoy. Estamos hablando del caso de los hermanos Menéndez. Este fue un caso donde 2 hermanos, uno de 19 y uno de 21 años, asesinaron a sus padres más de 3 décadas atrás. Los muchachos fueron condenados por asesinato y llevan en la prisión alrededor de 35 años. Este fue un caso que tuvo mucha atención pública cuando sucedió y indudablemente tiene mucha atención pública hoy cuando vemos esta habitación como está llena. La razón por la que nosotros estamos buscando que la Corte reevalúe la sentencia original es la siguiente. Bajo la ley de California, cuando una persona es acusada de un crimen, ese crimen puede ser reevaluado si la persona lleva muchos años en la cárcel o la prisión y enseña que se ha rehabilitado y que puede ser reintegrado en la comunidad sin causar peligro para el resto de nosotros. En el caso de los hermanos Menéndez, nosotros hemos revisado el caso y creemos, número 1, que se han rehabilitado y número 2, que pueden ser reintegrados en la comunidad sin causar peligro para el resto de nosotros. Es importante notar que este es un caso de 2 muchachos que tenían 19 y 21 años, que probablemente fueron no solamente acosados por su familia, pero posiblemente también fueron molestados sexualmente. Aunque no hay excusa ninguna para los crímenes que ellos cometieron, reconocemos también que habían ciertas condiciones que pueden haber creado esta situación. Desde que están en la prisión, Ellos han demostrado con sus acciones y sus palabras que iban a hacer todo lo que era posible para rehabilitarse.
Wow, Judge.
No solamente ellos hicieron cosas para mejorar su vida personalmente, pero también tomaron parte en muchos programas y crearon programas para ayudar a otros prisioneros. Hicieron todo esto durante un tiempo donde ellos no creían que iban a salir de la cárcel por el resto de su vida, porque su sentencia era de vida sin la posibilidad de salir de la cárcel. Lo que estamos haciendo hoy bajo la ley de California, vamos a hacer una petición a la Corte a que reevalúe esa sentencia y que lo vuelva a sentenciar por asesinato, pero con la posibilidad de salir con libertad condicional. En el caso de ellos, porque son 2 asesinatos, serían 50 años o por vida, pero con la posibilidad de ser prohibido la oportunidad de salir con condiciones. Bajo la ley, cuando el crimen se cometió y la persona tenía menos de 26 años cuando lo cometió, esa persona puede ser evaluada inmediatamente para que su sentencia sea revisada y que se le pueda dar otra sentencia. Bajo las condiciones de cómo ellos se han portado en la prisión y la evidencia de que están rehabilitados y de que pueden ser reintegrados en nuestra comunidad, es muy posible que ellos sean permitidos salir a la calle de nuevo, pero esa decisión estará con el sistema de prisiones y no con nuestra oficina. Legalmente, lo que nosotros vamos a hacer mañana es presentar una petición a la Corte. La Corte es la que toma la última decisión y la Corte puede acordar con nosotros o no, pero creemos que bajo la ley, la petición que estamos haciendo está bien fundada y creo que esta petición espero que sea permitida. Ahora voy a pasar para que otras personas hablen y después podemos tomar sus preguntas. Ana María, you're going to talk next? Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Ana Maria Baralt, and I'm the niece of Jose Menendez. Erik and Menendez are my cousins. I would also like to acknowledge the other family members here, some standing, some seated. Joan Vandermolen is here, Kitty's sister, as well as Diane Vandermolen Hernandez, Kitty's niece. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Today is a day filled with hope for our family. We are here because District Attorney Gascón has taken a brave and necessary step forward by recommending a resentencing for Lyle and Erik. The DA's decision reflects the truth that was hidden for so long, and I am grateful for his leadership in making this choice. We stand united in our hope and gratitude. Together, we can make sure that Erik and Lyle receive the justice they deserve and finally come home. Thank you to District Attorney George Gascón for his courage and leadership. This step gives us all hope that the truth will finally be heard and that Lyle and Erik can begin to heal from the trauma of their past. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah. This is the niece of Kitty Menendez, Joan Vandermolen.
Hi, thank you for coming. We are here today because District Attorney Gascón has taken a brave and compassionate step forward by recommending resentencing for my cousins, Erik and Lyle. And we wish to offer our deepest gratitude to DA Gascón. This decision is not just a legal matter. It is a recognition of the abuse my cousins endured, and we are grateful for the DA's leadership in putting justice over politics. We know this wasn't an easy decision, but is the right one. This is about truth, justice, and healing. It is time for Lyle and Erik to come home. And I ask all of you to join us in this fight for justice. We stand united in our hope and in our gratitude. Together we can make sure that Erik and Lyle receive the justice they deserve and finally come home. Thank you again to District Attorney George Gascón for his courage and leadership. This step gives us all hope that truth will finally be heard and Erik and Lyle can begin to heal from the horrors of their past. We hope this will also shed light and increase awareness and help others who have been victimized by sexual violence. Thank you all so much for being here today. We are grateful for everyone's support.
Is there anyone else speaking? Okay. Okay, and I apologize. I'm reading notes here and I'm trying to understand all the notes. Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain, so you go tomorrow, you file a case for resentencing, then what happens after? Are the brothers going to be there tomorrow, and when is the role of the parole board going to come in?
Right, and you know what? I'm going to actually have the people that are handling the case walk you through all of it. The brothers will not be there tomorrow. The role of parole board comes later, but Nancy, why don't you walk me right through?
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll file our,
Say your name, ma'am, your name and your title.
my name is Nancy Theberge. I'm the deputy in charge of the resentencing unit. This is Brock Lunsford, assistant head deputy of the post-conviction litigation division. So what will happen is tomorrow we will file the actual petition requesting resentencing with the legal arguments and accompanying exhibits as to why we think it's appropriate. It's just a filing. No one's going to physically be in the courtroom. From there, we'll also serve the defense with our motion and our paperwork so that they'll have their copies. And from there, we will coordinate with the defense to set up a court date with the court so that the petition can be heard. Now, whether or not that's a setting or a hearing will be decided between us and the defense and the court once everybody gets an idea of what we filed. Then from there at the hearing, the defense can either decide to have the defendants, the Menendez brothers, physically brought into court. They can ask that the individuals appear by video or audio WebEx, a kind of a Zoom participation, which we all kind of adapted to because of COVID. And then from there, we will do the hearing and submit all the written and legal and oral arguments and any evidence that needs to be admitted at the time. And then the court will rule at that point. But we don't have that court date yet because we're just starting the process tomorrow. But it's our intention to have that go forward before the habeas, because if the judge grants it, that may impact the defense's decision to proceed on the habeas. So we're gonna try it just as a matter of economy of time to stack it one before the other.
Now, have the brothers found out about this in real time, or were they told about this beforehand, or what was their reaction if they were?
No, this
No,
was.
this is actually the family was only invited to come. They were not aware what the final decision was until a few minutes ago. The brothers may be actually seeing you guys on TV or social media, but no one knew other than a very small number of people in this office. And by the way, I should tell you that actually the final decision was just made about an hour ago.
After the judge ruled, if the judge ruled in favor.
Right, then it goes back to the prison system, and then the parole system takes over that. That's
And
good.
would there be a parole or probationary period where they have to live in a halfway house or simply be released if they're allowed to be released?
You know, those are really completely entirely up to the parole board. Place, we'll try.
What was the factor that made the final decision? You said the final decision was just made. Was it the letter? Was it the Menudo confession? What was it that put you over the top to make?
No, what it was is I was evaluating the arguments that were being made within my office, both pro and against the release.
DA, can I ask you?
Hold on, I had it.
A lot of phone calls from
Yeah.
people that.
I'm, you have made resentencing a cornerstone of your tenure as district attorney here in Los Angeles. There are some people who have accused you of using this very, very highly publicized, clearly case to use it for politics, given how close we are to the election. What's your response to people who have been making that claim?
There's nothing political about this. We have resentenced over 300 people, including 28 for murder. And we will continue to resentence people in the future. And that's all I can tell you.
But DA, question, but
Yes,
how
sir.
is your bid for
Excuse me,
re-election?
please. You're interrupting.
Everyone's interrupted. I'm just
No.
wondering how your bid for re-election.
Yes, please.
Thank
Yes.
you. Could the brothers be home by Thanksgiving?
I don't know the answer to that.
Why did you decide not to go with the reduced voluntary manslaughter?
That was part of the process that I was still going through up until a couple hours ago. I don't believe that a manslaughter would have been the appropriate charge given the premeditation that was involved in the murders. I believe that these were clearly murders that were premeditated. Now, the motivation, that's where, differences of opinion come up, but I don't think it would be appropriate to go all the way down to manslaughter. Yes, ma'am. Would you please stop? I am not going to talk about re-election, okay?
Okay. So
You want to talk to re-election, go outside, we'll talk later. Please.
Relax.
¿Podría decir en español mañana?
I'm sorry, you're interrupting, sir. Please.
¿Qué va a pasar mañana después de que presenten en la corte los documentos?
Pues depende, como estaba explicando la abogada, la encargada de esta unidad, la corte probablemente va a señalar otro día donde los dos, la defensa y nosotros podemos ir y habrá una evaluación de la evidencia. Si hay alguien que se opone a esta moción que estamos, este proceso que estamos iniciando, también la corte va a poder oír todo eso y la corte toma la decisión final.
Did your office announce the press conference before you made your decision?
Yes, because we're going to make a decision one way or the other. It's just a question what the decision is
Was
going to be.
that just giving you a timeline to work?
If you are no longer in office, what happens to this case? Could a potential successor undo what you're about to file?
I don't think so. Once it's filed, it's filed. It's up to the court to take it from there.
You mentioned.
Yes, I'm sorry.
In a parole situation, obviously you've had a policy that just constantly deviates to those. Since you're obviously supporting the push for release here, how would that work? Would people from post-litigation resentencing, would they go before the parole board to argue for their release? Or
No. We have a policy that we only send victim services advocate if the victim or the victim's family wants that support. We don't send lawyers to our parole boards to relitigate a case. The parole board is fully aware of what the initial crime was, the crime that led to the conviction. Their work is primarily to evaluate whether they're rehabilitated and safe to be released, and that will be the way here.
Can you break down the timeline for us? Can we expect a hearing by the end of the year? Do you know when we might get something on the books?
I'm hoping to get it on calendar, depending on the defense preparedness. I'd like to see it go to hearing probably within the next 30 to 45 days at the most. Because there's not much to argue because we're kind of a collective.
Okay, there's one more question, please, but related to the case, not to elections. If you want to talk about elections, we'll do
related
that.
to the case,
Yes, sir.
what would you like to say right now to Erik and Lyle Menendez?
What we like to say to them, and it's we, because it's not I've made the final decision, obviously, but we have a whole team that worked on it. We have a family here that wants to be reunited, is that we appreciate what they did while they were in prison. While I disapprove of the way they handle their abuse, we hope that they not only have learned, which appears that they have, but that if they get reintegrated into our community, that they continue to do public good. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Eric, can we get you on?
Sit down.
Down, please. Down, please.
All right. So is this gonna, should I just, okay, perfect. So just so you guys know, it has to get approved by the judge and then it goes in front of a parole board. They got 50 years. So this would be basically, like he said, because of their age, they're eligible, but it would be the parole board like saying, all right, we're going to give you early release kind of thing. Like they got their sentence is 50 years. So it could be an uphill battle. And this guy is saying that there are many people in his office that are going to go and show up to court and oppose this. You can bet your ass that if there's someone in a position of power who's against this, they're going to be calling someone at the parole board being like, don't grant this. I mean, I hope that this wasn't, uh, being set up for failure kind of thing. I don't think people should take the pressure off the governor. That should definitely remain, and everybody's got to keep applying that pressure. Hopefully, it'll all go well. The parole board will grant them parole. It does seem like this guy stood up against people in his office, but it could have been a way to get, make the people happy while making it, um, you know, unlikely. Not really gonna happen. I don't know. I I, I want to be optimistic about it, and I don't want to, um, yeah, just I want to be optimistic, but I don't know. I don't know. So don't stop fighting. Don't stop reaching out if you're in that county or in California and, putting pressure on your local politicians there. I mean, I don't think so. Milo asks about the governor's role. I think that would be clemency, where you're asking the governor, but I'm sure the governor could have some influence. I mean, I don't know exactly, but typically when you're going to the governor, you're asking for clemency, and I'm not even be perfectly honest, I'm not sure what the governor's role is when it comes to the parole board itself. I don't really do any parole board work. Um, Actually, when the client I was telling you about, Muti, was up for parole, he had wanted me to I tried to, hop in and appear for him, but, inactive in Pennsylvania, and it would have taken a lot to get active. I ended up, I think, recording something that, was played at his parole hearing, so I don't know what the governor can reverse a parole decision? What? And the judge can block it. 22 Tantrums asks, "The judge doesn't have to accept the resentencing." Nope, absolutely not. Absolutely not, and that's gonna be where your first line of pressure is gonna come. Based on what he said, that there are still a lot of people who are against this. A lot of people still believe that they were not abused by their parents, that they murdered their parents for money, and he's saying in his office. So so the people who are supporters, especially those local, like, get the word out. They don't leave it to the people are against it to show up in court, and, they gotta have supporters there. The more pressure, the better. And Bob's about to start in 5 minutes. So, um, am I supposed to do something? Oh, you guys are Dizzy's giving me the the California penal code, but, um, I'm gonna oh, she set up a portal. Alright, so you guys are gonna get portaled over to Bob. He's gonna start in 5 minutes, and I appreciate you being here with me, and I guess I'm gonna see you tomorrow. I can look at my schedule and see what's going on, but I think we'll do the same thing tomorrow. Milo's mom says, oh, that's the penal code. And, Kasha, thank you. Appreciate it. And Bren, thank you for being a new member. I thanked everybody else. So I'll send you guys over to Bob. I'll be watching in the background. Got to figure out dinner though and deal with the kids and some household stuff. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.